So today is the day to get those delicious music you were yearning to hear to share with us, all of the other good boys and good girls. So let's get the song request going. It will start playing the songs you guys requested last stream, and then it'll start with other songs. It's kinda a little bit annoying that I have to do this manually, but could be worse. But nonetheless, how was your week so far, Ains? What sort of fun little things have you been doing? Also, hello there, Donald. Welcome to the stream as well. How are you doing today? So, before we start working on actual art, I'm gonna be doing some random warm-up sketches to try and get something going. And also, thank you so very much for the host, Donald, and with helping other good boys to find about this stream of mine. How are you doing, and how was your week so far? So I don't know what you sketch. I have nothing in mind. Which is actually not a bad thing. I have been pondering and wondering quite a lot in recent years about, well, not recent years, but in those past few days, months rather, about my art and how it has been going, if it has gotten any good, if it has got bad, how it has been going generally. And I found out that a lot of people, they do not approve very much of some directions I have been taking my art so far. As in, the cheeks and the jaws of the characters, they don't look as good, they look kinda People seems to prefer it the way I used to do much before. However, as I have been slowly but surely changing my style, I completely and totally forgot how I used to do it before. So I can't simply go back to doing it the way I used to do, because I don't remember how I used to do. So now I have a few problems here and there. At least I have a few problems here and there with my art. And that is, I'm gonna try and rescue my old art style, get it working, get it going, but also look at reference from other artists out there, see how they did their things and how it worked out for them. It might work, it might not work, I don't know. It's something new, so let's see how this goes. And also, Donald, you say that you will be lurking so far, so you may not hear, and since you're going to work on your CV and listen to music, but you'll be hearing and muting the thing, but you will tell in your back. Okay, sure thing, Donald. Nonetheless, thank you so very much for the support, and it's awesome. And Neko, you say a log here and Memamoo is playing, nice. You had requested it last time, but it didn't get to play because the stream ended. So since the song was still queued I decided to go and play it. But there you go. That happened. And also Zach. Hello there. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today, Zach? How was your week so far? The same thing to you, Neku. How was your week? How have you been? You delicious feline boy. Anyway, as I was explaining, there's I've been trying to rethink how my artwork used to be before. So I can try and kinda rescue it, perhaps. Or if not rescue the way I used to do my art, at least change it for the better. I have a book called Framed Ink by Marcos Matthew Mestre. It's a delicious book about compositions and illustrations, and mostly composition for visual storytellers. And it's a lovely book. Problem is it is extremely complicated. I mean, not complicated, but like super advanced. The guy who writes the book, he has some amazing art, and he makes his book very visual. So he always throws a lesson and explains a little something in the way of composition, but he uses his artwork to explain like, this is an example on how you can use this lesson I'm giving you. But the thing is, his artwork is so goddamn amazing that even if it had no composition at all, I still feel like it would be awesome just by itself, by how good it is. And that's the thing, I kinda wanna do it like he does. The way he can use black and white so masterfully. And that's the problem, I don't know how to do that. So there's a lot of learning to do. And I'm not a very fast learner when it comes to this sort of things here. So I'm looking here in the book, trying to find a nice little piece of art that we can throw here into the canvas and maybe look at it, study it a little bit, and then maybe get to illustrating it. Either character art or background art. Because another thing I really want to do is practice a little bit more, get better with my backgrounds. Okay, maybe this one here is interesting. Let's go with it. It's nothing too whoa, but it's good. Because it shows a few characters here and there, but instead of focusing on the characters, faces, you focus on their bodies, on their overall silhouettes, and that is very interesting. I'm gonna throw it in here and see if we can learn a thing or two from this before we start working more comic book things. Neku, you say it was fine, gonna play some Monster Hunter Warudo. Sure thing, Neku. You have fun with that game and that's awesome. And Zach says you're doing fine, so what's happening today? I don't know. As it happens, I'm feeling a little bit lost. kinda directionless, so I don't know what's gonna be happening as of yet. So I'm thinking of just going and drawing, just trying to have fun. So here the guy has like some characters drawn. There's this kind of swordsman, this pirate looking dude, this modern businessman, and this guy jumping up and down, probably the same businessman. But what I really like about this is how he uses grayscale, just tones of brighter or darker tones of gray to make to illustrate his characters. So here he has a gigantic trench coat that is very dark gray. Then he has a shirt that is slightly brighter gray. His pants is completely black, but up here in his coat and his shirt, areas where he wants to denotate shadows, he uses full black to tell, like, oh, this area he is shadow, this area he is also shadow, and also some shading effects here and there. But when he goes to his pants, because his pants are entirely black, he uses white to do highlights instead. So it's all shaded, and here's some highlights. Whereas he does highlights on the coat, and then there's the character's face where it's white, but he throws in some shades of gray for some shading, and then full black for areas that requires the full black, in particularly the hair. He does the same thing here. Some areas where the focus should not be at, he uses full black. In other areas he uses tones of gray and light and dark gray. They kind of mix a little bit here, but then he uses shading again to clearly separate one area from the other. Every now and then he uses a brighter gray to do some highlights, like here on the hilt of this axe, and on the blade of this knife here, and on the hat that the guy is wearing. So even though, if you boil it down, it's possibly, like, aside from black and white, it's 3 colors, just 3 shades of gray. 4 if we're gonna exaggerate a little bit. So it's extremely simple, and yet he's able to deliver such a rich looking character. Very detailed, very interesting to look at. So I want to do something like that. I want to improve my art. So today is the day to get going with practices. And as it happens, I don't know what to draw. So let's start with whatever, I guess. How about a canine? Everybody likes canines. So I might as well start drawing one and see how it goes from there. That's the thing, if you start looking into anatomy, like actual animal anatomy, you'll see that the way I draw animal characters is completely wonky. It's very, very characteresque. Like, they have gigantic chins, their jaws makes very little sense. It's weird. So from what I have been looking, it seemed like before most of my characters I used to go straight down here on their muzzles, so do a shape like this, except that I did something like this. That's how I used to do my characters before. then throw ears, and there you go. You have a character head. However, started looking outwards instead of inwards, and I decided, well, these characters, they do have big cheeks every now and then. So I started, instead of doing a straight line like this, go down to the jaw and then forwards into the tip of the muzzle, I started to do another line. So outwards, making some sort of cheek-like feature, and then go back inside. I feel like this represents much better the anatomy of the characters. However, if I simply go following this shape and start drawing some fur here and there, going all over the place, it will still feel like there's like the bones, they follow this shape. So it will feel like your character has some severely deformed bones, and they don't work very well. And also, hello there, Javichu. Welcome to the stream, and thank you so very much for that delicious host. How are you doing today? Good. So this begs the question of another interesting practice we can have going on. Aside from you know, the very default and very basic, let's draw characters and try to copy someone else's styles. Let's search the internet to see if we can find a canine skull. And also, Javichu, you're doing good, but you're also going to lurk. Or are you lurking? Or that's what's going to be happening with you from now on. I don't know. But in any case, thank you so very much for showing up. Hope you enjoy it here today, where we are doing art instead of doing games. If we look on the internet, you can find lots of skulls. It's not particularly hard to find them. The problem is, how do you apply this skull into the character itself? So, let's look for a guide I use through long, which is how to draw dogs? Wolves? I think it's wolves. How to draw wolves. By, what's her face? Monica Zagrabelna. If you search the internet for how to draw dogs, I mean wolves, one of the first tutorials that will show up is from the sketchbook.com. They have a very detailed tutorial on drawing those delicious canines. Let's throw in a couple of these images in there so we can get it going. And Javichu, you were lurking. Oh, shooting them. I hope you enjoy the lurk nonetheless, and feel free to partake in the conversation or leave whenever you feel like. No worries. And other than that, enjoy the audio, the rest of the stream. And also, hello there, Caro. And hello, Tank Dog. What's up? What happened with you? So this is how I would draw a canine character nowadays. Something like this, maybe make a longer muzzle. But the basics is pretty much this. I'd make this sort of large jowl slash cheeks that I have been doing as of late, and that people have not been as super appreciative of. I do a big chin as well. Instead of making an actual canine chin that is something like this, instead of doing that, I make the large visible chin, which also helps denotate male characters from female characters. Not a good practice nonetheless, but it's a thing. And as for the eyes, I do my default eyes. And also, Bones, you are here. Well, welcome to here, Bones. How are you doing today? And not only that, but how have the both of you, Garu and Bones, how have your weeks been so far? What sort of fun things did you do or did you not do? So, according to this guide here, into how to draw canines, there's a shitload of steps, but this is the gist of it. Normally when I draw my canines from a side perspective, I normally do a very profused forehead. That's all we can. So you can really see the brow area and region. However, in actual animals, it's not so jutted forward. It's very smooth transition between the bridge of the muzzle going up to the forehead. So while that makes for good anatomical practice of a character, I still feel like it detracts a lot from the actual from the visual characteristics of the character. It makes it look kind of bland and generic. I like when characters they have a more profused brow like the ones I normally do. So that is you as an artist deciding to not use anatomy as it actually is, and instead going your own way with anatomy as it is not, rather. Also, noses, they have a much different shape from the ones I normally do, but there's that. But as for noses, depending on the angle you're drawing, it's impossible to get a good reference, so whatever. And also, Robert the Shark, hello there. Welcome to the stream, and you say hello. You love my art, been a big fan for a while. Why, thank you so very much. I'm glad you enjoy this sort of scribbles I put up online every now and then. Thank you so very much, and also welcome to the stream. How was your week so far? And Garu, you say you're freaking out right now. To be honest, you got the opportunity to sell prints on this furry meat, but you're pretty lost about it. Don't be. Just try to get your best illustrations, or rather, a few of each, but several of the ones you are sure are your best illustrations. Then get them printed. Go to this meet and walk around. The worst part of being in a meet and say, "Hey, I sell things," is you don't normally want to go to each person being like, I sell things, do you want to buy the things I sell? So walk around with a folder, like one of those default black folders for art with several plastic little things for you to put each drawing you have. But then in the folder, have it in really big letters, like post glue to it a gigantic note that says something like arts for sale, or like prints for sales, I don't know. But anyway, make it clear that you are selling drawings that are already done. And every now and then, simply sit down, I mean, as you're walking around, make sure people can see the art for sale thing. And whenever you make a little stop, put the desk face up in your put that folder face up in your desk and make it visible for everyone, and then simply sit down and start drawing and see if people come to you. Unless, of course, you're the kind of guy who's like, well, I'm selling stuff, so let's announce it to people. Then, sure, go through everybody and start saying, hey, I make drawings, do you want to see, do you want to buy, what do you want to do? Then so there's that. But other than that, congratulations, that's awesome. And Bones says you said that you're happy it's Friday, more Monster Hunter tonight. Well, lucky you. I tried playing Monster Hunter yesterday, but I don't know why, but I've been getting disconnection problems. Like, I tried to play online for a little bit, and within minutes, I get disconnected and I am booted off to offline play. I don't lose any of my progress, the game keeps happening in real time, but the problem is, I've been trying to play with my boyfriend, but we could not play together at all, because the game simply does not want to work online. So I don't know about that. Although I feel like it's day one server being full sort of problem going on. So I imagine it'll be better tomorrow, but still, kind of sucks. It does. Sucks. Amazingly bad. And well, that aside, the game is still very nice and it runs exceptionally well on my computer. I've been hearing people all over the internet saying that the game was gonna be extremely heavy and hard to run in more modest setups. And that always worries me, because for the longest time I have had the most modest setup of them all. Only recently I decided to actually cash out and buy a more robust computer. So to my surprise, I simply booted up the game and it was working perfectly. And then I was like, well then, that's lovely. So the thing is, canines, they don't have protruded cheekbones like so. It's a thing I do, because my style mixes human characteristics and animal characteristics very, very freely. But anyway, Robert the Shark says it's been good. Just came back from Megaplex, so looking forward to MFF. I don't know what that is, what either of those are. What are those? Because Megaplex does not feel like a furry convention. So I wonder about that, what that could be. But sounds interesting nonetheless. Did you have fun? Did you? What sort of event was it? What did you do in there? Garu, you say that's a great point. Thank you very much for your wisdom, Sensei. Well, you're welcome. Of course, I never tried doing that myself, but I feel that's a thing you could do and that would work pretty well. Of course, like I said, I never tried that before, so there's always a chance it might not work at all. But hopefully it will work. And it'll be fun for you when you come back home with much fewer drawings, but much more money in your pockets. So what I did was this. I got this kind of schematic of how a wolf is. I tried to draw following this line, like this is where the cheek fur would go. This is the muzzle format, except that I made the muzzle more chinier. I made the brows more browny. And that's about it. I feel like that works. This, however, still looks extremely different from this one I had made before we started the looking up those references. So there's that. And then there's also this canine skull here. And this is very interesting because in this one you can really feel in this one you can really feel the dimensions of how canine face works. So as we have discovered this is where the nose would come. Simple as that. And here gigantic globes which act as the eyes. Of course they are covered by skin, as is everything else most of the time. And then our really protruding eyebrows here, because we are super into that. We're down with it. But one thing here that if you look at this skull picture here, I think this is really weird. If you're kind of not expecting this, is that the distance between where the teeth close and the upper part of the muzzle and the lower part of the muzzle is almost the same distance. However, in whatever picture you look, it does look like wolves have much more of a upper muzzle than a lower muzzle. And that is because, let me erase this. That is because they have a lot of flappy skin. So the muzzle skin, it comes down and closes over this. I don't know exactly how, but it does. So they have a lot of flappy skin that closes over that closes over the muzzle. And then the lower part of the muzzle there's very little flappy skin underneath it, so it's pretty much already to the bone. If we hide this, we can see it's more or less how it goes. Of course, with some little changes here and there, but it's pretty much that's the gist of it. So in canines, they have a lot of flappy skin on the upper muzzle, which when they bare their fangs, you can always see that their noses moves back a little bit, and their nose bridge it crinkles. That is their skin retracting. That's so they can show their gnarly teeth and be like, here. Of course, this looks awful, but that's more or less the gist of it. So that's the interesting thing. Knowing this fact that the upper muzzle has a lot of flappy skin, you can mold it in a way that makes it look nicer. And Garu, you say, well, there's only one way to know, right? Yeah, go and do it then. By the way, which for me is it gonna be? Because if I am not mistaken, I think this weekend is the weekend where either this or the previous one, I don't know, is the weekend where they will be having that furry convention, isn't it? Is that the one you're going to? Nonetheless, Grizz say today art study day, okay? More or less. I decided to do some art today, but I don't know what to do yet. So I've been gathering up some references and just going crazy at it. And that's about it. But anyway, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And SK Shappy, say good morning. Good morning to you too. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? So what I feel like my canine, my little canine here I did earlier is missing is a longer muzzle. With a longer muzzle, it would look better-ish. And as we've seen here from this delicious wolf boy here, is that they don't have super protruded cheekbones like so. So their fur pretty much falls down instead of perking up like I do here. So that's another new thing we have to keep in mind. So if I were to be doing it, I would do something like this. They have a little bit of a cheek going on, but it's very small, like ridiculously small. So their fur is mostly either flowing back or flowing down. One or the other. Grizz, say that you're doing fine. Though slightly ticked, because you lost the sketch you was working on for a friend. Oh no, what happened? Did the power went down or something? Because losing sketches is simply terrible. Grizz said it was a power button mispress. Oh no. God damn it, that's even worse. Do you work on a laptop? Or a desktop sort of configuration? Because some laptops have been widely known for having really bad power buttons placements. It sucks. But in any case, Bones, have you played a lot of the Monster Hunter Warudo yesterday? Because I didn't get to play a whole lot of it. Mostly the game released at noon over here, and yet I only got to play it like at late at night because I had a lot of things going on during the afternoon. I didn't get to play it all day. I think if I stopped at the part where you are on the quest mission to hunt a Puke, but other than that, I've done very little previous to that and very little after that. Also, one of the other big changes I've made with my art style ever since beginning this new comic series is the way I do eyes now. This one though, a lot of people probably noticed. Back with the Golden Week, the way I used to draw eyes was like a common eye. There was the eye of the character, but then we had the sclera, which is this white part, and then we had the iris, which is the colored part. Now the way that I do eyes is that there's no white part. We just have the gigantically colored area, which is the color, whatever color of the eye, and then they have the black iris on the center. We don't have the white sclera around anymore. But I feel like that's more of a style choice rather than an anatomy choice. So I'll stand behind that decision. Because I think it does looks very, very, very dope with eyes like that. And Grease said that you shut off everything and deleted the sketch because you were on a laptop. Oh damn. Well, I'm sorry to hear so. Which software were you using? Because the latest few versions of Clip Studio, they have a recovery sort of thing in place. So long as you have saved your sketch, as long as you have saved your sketch once every 15 minutes or so, it automatically saves over the file. So now, as you can see, the place I'm most nervous about working with is the cheek area, for obvious reasons. Agrees, you say, like the eyes of your characters and icons. Yeah. You can see that every artist, they more or less do the eyes on their own way, their own style. And I do mine like this, because I don't remember why I decided to change it. I mean, I kinda do. And that's how he has been ever since. So, I don't remember when it was. I think last week. We did a sketch and I used Nesking's art as reference. And I learned something interesting from his style, which is then he does the fur spiked back thing quite a lot, especially here on the neck area. Instead of having this straight neck, no furred neck. It has the spiked back with fur kind of neck going on for most of his intro characters, which works perfectly well. Which is something interesting as well, for those of you who wanna dabble into the arts, traditional or digital, or the illustration arts nonetheless, is that no matter how you do things, you will mostly always find another artist who does things in a way that you appreciate quite a lot. You're like, wow, I wish I could do it the way that person does. So whenever you find one of those people, and you start to change your style little by little, trying to mimic a little bit of how these artists have their own style going. That's when you have an inspiration. And it's perfectly normal to try and mimic someone else's art style as much or as little as you want. And the most interesting thing is that as much as you try to mimic someone else's styles, so long as you have your own world vision, it's impossible. Because either you are good at either you commit to memory how anatomy works and how things look and how to work it up, or you commit to mind how how people work, as in what sort of movements they do and how they draw their lines, and yada yada yada. If you do become the latter, then you'll become extremely good at copying drawings. It pretty much becomes a walking and talking Xerox machine. Whereas, if you commit to learning anatomy and whatnot, you will eventually develop your own art style, or you will go for a super realistic style, one or the other. Nonetheless, when you have your own style going on, it's extremely harder to copy someone else's style, because no matter how much you like their style and you want to try and copy it, all the previous knowledge you already have about drawing and whatnot, it's so deep within you that you cannot shake it off and be like, okay, now I'm totally gonna copy up this person's style. No matter how much you want to do that, all the previous knowledge you already have gets in the way and you're not able to copy it perfectly. So you will eventually end up with a mishmash of your previous style and your inspiration's style. So a lot of people do try to copy someone else's styles, but end up remixing their style in a way. Which is my long-ass winded way of saying, don't be afraid to try and studying other people's styles and integrating theirs into your own. There we go. This looks like a nice Canine character to me. And also, hello there, Laziest Knight. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And Greasy said you like listening to the Tokyo Daylight remix. Oh yeah, it is super fun. And also, you tried requesting a song, but I don't think the Goodbye Bot fetched that song request, so do try requesting it again. If you'd like. Let me find my windows again, they keep vanishing. And Grease say didn't work. Weird. Because the song request is here, it should be working. Let me try requesting through this link you sent. Oh, good boy bot. The good boy bot did not connect to the stream. I forgot all about it. Let me try to connect him now. Connect. Good boy bot, would you please? Okay, I think he is here now. Okay, now you can try requesting songs, it should work now. And also, Javichu, thank you so very much for that host. That just now the good boy bot decided true. What's the word? Decided to acknowledge it. But anyway, now this song request should be working. So far all we have done is sketch up this character here. Pretty default looking character, but kinda unique in his own way. But I feel now like I wanna try going back to what first triggered this episode, which was studying a little bit of Marcos Mateo Mastery style of illustration with the bold colors on sketchish looking things. So I'm gonna sketch a body for this Canine fellow here and trying some costume for him. So I wonder, do you guys have any suggestions of costumes or things for me to try, or can I go crazy here? Because if I'm left to my own devices, I'll probably go kinda all over the place with this one. Possibly, probably. Let me try to imagine what am I trying to do with this character right here. Wanted more or less of a crossed arms kind of pose, not necessarily. It wants more of a arms crossed kind of pose. He was maybe holding up into his arm. Whereas his other arm would be going up and doing some crazy things, such as I don't know. Maybe this pose doesn't work at all. Let's try something else. Coffee is so incredibly caffeinated. I'm not a gigantic sucker for coffee. God damn, it's so strong. So this could be it. He's kind of doing his pose where he's holding up a gun. Everybody loves this kind of poses, so why not go with one of these?
Let's take it.
Well, this is what they're doing here. He's ejecting the magazine, so you can have some sort of crazy action scene going on here with this character. And also, hello there, Oni. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Is it that time again? Yeah, it is. What are you talking about, Oni? What sort of time are you going on and on about? What do you mean, Oni? Don't scare me with your cryptic messages, Oni. Oh, Oni boy. But also, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing good. And being not only doing good, but also being a good Canine boy. Alright, I forgot you posted this thing over at that place, so I'm doing this thing right now. Done. I did the thing, so now we can proceed. Wait. I thought this song's name was another. This was, you proposed it in the wrong neighborhood. Oni, what are you doing? Bamboozling us with different song names. And Oni, you're here to scare. You're not here to scare. Huh. And Oni says it's true Vaporwave Song Day. And Greasy forgot to read the title. What do you mean? The song you picked was someone playing the song along with the game. You can type in !, wrong song, and it'll delete the last song you requested. And only reposted in the wrong neighborhood is the meme version of this. Well, I like that version, but this one also sounds good. And also, Grizz, it's !, wrong song altogether, no spaces in between. So now, because of this guy handling weapons, I feel like a smile would not be good for him, so I'm gonna take down the smile. I'm putting just a scowl, because it can be kind of John Wickerish. And this is the crazy thing about this pose. Either the character has to be hunched, or he has to be kind of going with a chest, a puffed up chest sort of pose. They all have their differences and repercussions, which is how you would illustrate them. But anyway, Oni, how are you doing today? How has your week been so far? What sort of fun canine things, sort of canine shenanigans have you been up to in recent memory? Yep. Damn it. Let's throw this into another layer. Rotate it a little bit. Make it smaller. And also resize these legs because they're incredibly huge. Or rather, the right word is not incredibly huge, the right word is disproportionate. Because by themselves they work, but them at the size they were, with this body at the size it was, it didn't work. Let me think about this leg here, because these the big problem here is this upper leg here. The leg that's higher up, it's bending in a way that's kinda doesn't look too good, not to me at least. Anyway, Grease, you had said that it has Eminem and Little D singing the meme. And Grease, you said you wonder why Dancing Moonlight didn't include Kuromaru. Besides, there's one song that's music video remix of a song from the first Persona game. What? Didn't include Kuromaru besides this one song that's music video remix of a song for the first Persona game. Anyway, you didn't expect it to be so low. Yeah, that is a problem with YouTube song requests. They are not equalized, so songs will come at different volumes, and it's either up to me to, well, it is up to me to balance the volume of the songs, to change the volume on the fly, but that would require me to stop doing whatever I'm doing here. Should go check that out. And Oni, you're back to your deer/ungulate addiction. Oh yeah, I saw your last picture you posted. I don't remember in which channel you posted, but you posted your picture of your deer character. And I wanted to complain about it. I really wanted to complain about it. I didn't though, because I saw it like today as I woke up, and I was like, ugh. I was more asleep than awake, and I didn't know what was up, so I didn't get to complain about it. But there are things in there, not anatomically wise, but art style wise, that I find really iffy, and I wanted to complain about it. And also, hello there, Skyrunner. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Welcome to our Canine party. We're doing some random illustrations right now. Now that I think about it, character here, he has a lot going on for him. Started sketching up some clothes before he didn't even decide to pose. Don't ever do that. After getting to the pose before we decide the clothes. And Sky Runner, you're feeling extra puffy and fluffy today. Thank you. What do you mean extra puffy and fluffy? And as you can see, with every passing iteration of this drawing, I keep ruining it further and further. God damn it. Let's move his legs a little bit up. Because of how hunched he is, distance between his chest and legs isn't as great as it appears there. There's that. But I don't like this pose now that I think about it, so what I'm gonna do is leave the pose there. I might revisit it in the future, but let's do everything else but the head. I mean, but the head. How about something like something alongside the lines of a guy holding up a spear or something of which he displaces his weight into. God damn how awful this looks. I completely forgot how to do anatomy, apparently. Okay, this is a double lance spear wielding character, I guess. With a very, very weird posture. Like, ridiculously weird. But, no matter, it works, I guess. Anyway. Oni, you are extra chubby dubby. Leo says, "Hey, Doggo doing Ardo." And Sky Runner, you say extra chubby only. He's cute. Leo says, "Are the best, though you wish." A skinny kitty now. The Tony scrawny line. Even work now. What? Only says you give me rice. You love me a long time. Leo says Dogo can't and not Tomo this morning. No. I just woke up, so give me a little bit of a break. I'm still warming up. And also, hello there, Marcus. Wolf morning to you and welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Zach says sorry for the AFK. Mom demanded for dinner and even when it made quick. What made her cranky? Maybe the heat. It's possibly very, very, very warm over there where you are compared to over here where we are. It's extremely cold over here. Leo, you said that one chew or one what? One chew or one-handed is better than chew. Huh. Marcus, we're doing good here. Hope you chew. Yeah, I am doing good. I decided to start up and revisit a little bit my art style. So now this guy needs some clothing to go with his new with his new style.
O mais impactante seria aquele do Ean, que não dela, que não quero, com o Raiden desse plano. Só.
So, if I am not mistaken, actually, let's save this file here as warm up, which is more than a warm up because I've been 1.5 hours at this. So if I go to a lovely site I like, which is creativeuncut.com, I have a lot of what's it called? Video game art in here. Let's go to Final Fantasy, whichever. Let's go to Final Fantasy 6, why not? And look up what does a dragoon look like. Lance wielder. Or rather Final Fantasy Tactics if they have it. Believe me, they have a shitload of Final Fantasies going on in there. So for Final Fantasy 6 they have a lot of characters actually. Oh, would you look at that? Orange Soapstone. Hello, Wolf Morning. Welcome to the stream and thank you so very much for those delicious cheers. How are you doing today? Lovely Orange Frienderino. This incredibly early morning Friday. How are you doing? How has your week been so far? Hopefully it has been going good as well. Okay, let's also load up the Tactics Augur Let Us Cling Together art book. Let's see if they have a they have a lot of characters and classes here, but I don't think they have Lancers. Or do they? No, they do not. Which kinda sucks. They have the Beast Tamer. I don't think they wear lances. No, they don't wear lances. What about the Terror Knight? No, they don't. Warrior class. They don't wear lances, but they have a little nice art style going on. So I'm gonna create a new folder here. Call it ref. Throw that into there. Final Fantasy Tactics. They have Fencer. I think that's how it goes. No. Fencing is not the same thing as Spear Wielder. Effective. About the Final Fantasy Tactics, not A2, but the first. Apparently Final Fantasy Tactics does not... Oh, it does. It's on the second page though. It has a Dragoon, so let's throw that into here as well. Final Fantasy 4DS, Tactic. Final Fantasy 6, Tactic 2. And this one here is Final Fantasy 11. The Sharida Petty Armor. Yeah, they have some sort of leather armor going on here. No. What about this one? No. And this one. Not the best thing, but that'll do. Anyway, I got some references, let's start working. And Leo, you say big things, they can jump crazy heights. Oh yeah, also you said Aidi spear with only one in hand, one can either chew or one-hand it as needed. Yeah, we're coming up with new crazy things. And Orange, you're good, and I'm doing good as well. Today I decided not to play games, I decided to rework on my art because I feel like it has been lacking a little bit and has not been as good as it could have been. So I'm trying to rethink and rework on my art and I decided to do a random art day today, so I'm not working on the comics or whatever. I'm doing this. So I came up with this sketch here. This is Marcos Mateo Master references. This is a lovely illustrator kind of guy. I don't know his guest. But anyway, there we go. We have some references. This is the Warriors of Tactics Ogre. These would be the Dragoon of Final Fantasy Tactics. And this would be the leather armor, cloth armor for Final Fantasy 11. So there we go, we have enough references here to get something going for this character here, clothing wise. Let's get up another layer and start doing some crazy something here. See what goes. And Tiger says Dragoons, yeah. Ogre Battle. Good styles there. Oh yeah, I love the art of Tactics Ogre. Tactics Ogre. They have amazing character art. Everything there looks good. It doesn't look too, despite being a super anime-esque game. It doesn't look super anime-like. It looks good. And also, who was it? Somebody rated us and I didn't see who it was. Also, Wipa, hello there, welcome to the stream. You and yours, thanks for that. Thanks for that radical raid of yours. How are you doing today in this lovely Friday that we are having currently? How are you doing? And also, thanks again for the raid. So, whenever doing clothes like this, I like to work in layers, see how things go. So let's start with just a shirt. Nothing too fancy, just a shirt. We can then expand a little bit. And also, Vocari 365. Hello there, and thank you for the follow. A delicious follow. I mean, delicious and follow. They have different letters going on, so instead we should say that fabulous follow. Now we have two F words going on. Thank you for that. And welcome to our Canine pack. I hope you like it here. The dog treats are served with the drinks at 7 in the afternoon. In the evening, rather. So everybody has some crazy ideas of how to waist / leg armor, so I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit. But also, Leo says Tactics was the only Final Fantasy that you have ever actually beat. It seems I didn't get too far in it, but it does sound like it is the only Final Fantasy. I feel like I want to try and beat it one of these days. And also, Wipa, you say good man, how's things? They're doing pretty good. Pretty good so far. How about you? What were you streaming? And also, Valkyrie, you're gonna lurk cause you were at work. Sure thing, no worries. And Sky Runner, this song is kinda sweet, what's it called? There's on the bottom of the stream of the video feed, there's a little gimmick telling this song name. So I like the idea of this Lancer guy having big boots, or some kind of one-piece sort of leg armor. I'm gonna go with that for now right now. But in the way of boots and whatnot, I feel like instead of stopping short here in the calves, might as well keep going up, all the way into their thighs. Because why not? And also, Tiger says only top 50 today, perhaps. Naku, hello there. You love your Charge Blade from Monster Hunter Warudo, and you will love and will forever flourish it. What is the Charge Blade? Is that the axe slash shield one that then becomes a two-handed axe, electrical axe kind of shenanigan? Because if that's so, that's the same weapon I like using. Which song is this? It sounds like that song from Mario Odyssey when he's in New Donk City. After he beats New Donk City, I think. Right there. Who knows? So instead of this shirt, I feel like throwing in a belt in there. For now, I'm not gonna go super crazy on the belt details. And have another belt that goes around his shoulder. And then it's gonna connect to another belt that is gonna be kinda hanging from his waist a little further down. Here in the corner where the belts connect is an actual metal clasp. That's how the belts are able to connect without much problem. Not gonna go into much details on this metal clasp right now as well. Trying to keep it simple-ish. Think about it later. And then we also have a like I said, another belt that is kinda hanging kind of hanging from his waist there. Which reminds me, I don't know if any of you have ever watched Game of Thrones. But if you haven't, I'll keep mentioning it until you all do. But the clothing design in the series, in the television series at least, is amazing. Because one thing they do get right is the medieval clothing fashion, quote unquote. One thing that I find really lovely about the medieval fashion clothing, at least, is that back then they didn't know the intricacies of making belts. I mean, they didn't know how to make good belts, or I don't know how belt making was in those days of yore. But one thing they definitely did not know how to do was let's redo this belt. Was close the belts, because most of the time their belts was closing like the character would have their belts around their waists, but here in the middle where the clasp closes, instead of the belt going through it and then going another of those houses there, the belts went through this and then they kind of made a little knot. So they would go and made a knot on their belts and leave the rest hanging down, because their belts apparently were gigantically large and they did not know how to close it, so their belts would work like that in medieval times for some reason. And in the Game of Thrones series, the character who used the belts like those, they had those sort of belts that don't close correctly. And that's a crazy attention to detail. No wonder that series is extremely expensive to make. Alongside other things, but anyway. Neko, you say Lamina Dynamo. I wonder. It's so fun. Aren't you using sword and shield? No, I'm using the sword and shield that then can mix into the gigantic axe thing. As axe's charge blade, it changed from axe form to sword and shield form and back and forth. Yeah, but I think that in Portuguese, it's weirdly, it's called Lamina Dynamo. Because dog knows why. Anyway, Zack says, using files to unleash devastation. And Oni, you say, can you feel the sunshine? I can't. There's no sun in here. And Echo, you say, but Kim said he would use the normal sword and shield. I did not say that. When did I? Whenever did I say that? And another belt, says Neko. This is Square Enix. Leo says belt. Love for belts. Doggle's belt. And Green says, can you feel the sunshine from Sonic R Genesis game? No idea. And Leo Anoni, please stop with the weeping and the kinky talk here on the stream. I know you guys are really have the hearts for one another, but please do not keep the kink talk going in here. You really feel like doing your kinky talking, take it through the private mediums, but not over here. It disturbs the people who are idly standing around. And Oni says, Doug's logics, we need belts. We don't need belts. It's just that I'm thinking, like, this character needs an actual belt where he, you know, where he closes his trousers. Let's pretend it's there underneath this other belt, where he closes his belt. But there's this belt where he has, you know, his useful things. Like, it could be a scabbard, although he doesn't wear as a sword. This character here has thousands of belts as well. This character here has an incredibly little amount of belts going on. But that's interesting, because a lot of these characters will use like a specialized weapon. No matter who they are, they all have a little knife tucked into their holsters, so they, if all goes to shit, they at least have a little super short range melee knife. Kind of like what's his face? John Locke from Lost. That's the gist. You have thousands and thousands and hundreds of knives going on. So now he needs a vest on top of this shirt, so he doesn't get slashed across the chest and other stuff. Only you say Square Enix says we need shit tons of belts. Not necessarily Square Enix, but mostly some Square Enix artists. Zack says your main insect glaive, hunting horn, and bow. Well then, I never used any of those. And Donald Duck, he says, be right back, shower time. Sure thing, Donald. Take as long as you need. Leo says you have a BF, and sorry on it's not you. Tiger says, Square Enix, more belts, make dresses out of belts, belts everywhere, and zippers. That's not Square Enix, that's Tetsuya Nomura. But anyway, Tetsuya Nomura has exclusively made games for Square Enix, as far as we know, so might as well be one of the same. And Chandler says, Daddy, do you look like... What? Even? What do you mean, Chandler? Also, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? By the way, have any of you seen the Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay trailer? Because I don't know if you guys saw, but I saw it yesterday and holy shit, that game is looking awesome. Almost pains me to think that I won't be playing it anytime soon, because as you know, it's coming to the consoles first, then possibly, hopefully, eventually on the PC. But not initially, so that sucks. But damn, it looks amazing. Funny as how the trailer is like... The gameplay trailer is like... It was a woman announcing the features and the things. Kinda like the GTA 5 trailers when it was close to being released. And also, Lablo, hey, welcome to the stream and thank you so very much for that delicious follow. I mean, that fabulous follow. How are you doing today? And what you guys have been saying. The trailer says it's a vine, my boy. Leo says a dagger / knife was also necessary in many fish games. The game non-dagger uses a damage bonus. Really? Ah, FF-ish games. And Tiger says, good to know, Doug. Good to know what? What have I said? I forgot. Zach says, insect glaive for aerial combo lovers and mounting addicts, hunting horn for those who wants to bash a monster's head, like hammers but also wants to give buffs, and bow for those pansies like you who prefer to keep their distance from the monster. Agrees to say, you mentioned something about studying anatomy earlier, Doug. Is the same for looking at a book instead of struggling through it, just looking at a reference? Not really. If you look up reference, that's all you have to guide you. It's like, okay, I'm seeing this photo of a whole human skeleton assembled, and that's it. Let's go from there. If you see a book or a YouTube video of someone explaining everything, they're probably adding a whole lot more details about why they are doing the things they are doing. They explain a little things. They go and highlight like, I'm doing this sort of curve here because of this reason, that reason, and go into the extra details about why they're doing the things the way they're doing. That helps with learning. So it's not the same having someone explain things to you through a book, through a video lecture, or through classes, videos, or whatever, helps a whole lot. It's Chandler, you said life is suffering. Why is that, Chandler? Why do you say so? For these boots here, I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like it's more interesting for them to have their feet, I mean the toes exposed rather than hidden under some sort of boot sole or whatever. I don't really know why, I just feel like it. Maybe there isn't even a reason, a logical, actual reason for that decision.
Pois é. Eu ia falar isso, eu não resolvi ficar quieto pra diferente, eu quero tirar problema. Mas para que a gente precisa acompanhar essas mudanças?
So now for the clothing here.
Por que o cara ficar sentado lá acompanhando a mudança dele?
I'm thinking also gloves.
É que agora na reunião ele perguntou se até alguém suporte pra acompanhar. Na reunião da
Also, god damn, I just had an amazing idea. I mean, it's not an amazing idea per se. It's possibly very bad, actually, depending on who asks. But one thing that just came to mind, and I feel like adding into this drawing here, is this character. He has his pants has textures. A texture. It's vertical stripes sort of pants.
Porque eu tentei sair o dono da mudança, porque se está a gente acompanhando e algum problema, o que eu vou fazer? Vou ligar para.
So I'm gonna go with that. And Leo says those are sexy. Sorry, your foot fetish to show that. And the Wolf Smiley says bom dia, Doug. Bom dia pra você também. Seja bem-vindo ao stream. Como você está hoje?
Meu quadro fez trabalho na semana.
And gloves. Let's go with the gloves. delicious gloves. And Chandler say, wolves we don't use wolves anymore. We use points, exclamation mark points, because we have been using the good boy pounds. Skyrunner, you gotta bounce. You guys keep having fun. Good stream, Douglas. Thank you very much, Sky. Tenha bom dia, se cuida. Aliás, tenha uma boa noite. Se cuida e fique bem. Fique bem gostosinho e bem fresquinho. E eu te vejo depois. Tchau, tchau. And as for gloves, I feel like I'm feeling long gloves, not those that ends up like at your wrist base, but those that go like almost halfway into your arm before ending. Those sort of hunting gloves, I think. Because why not? And then this shirt that ends halfway through the character's arm. You need to close it into the whole thing. Chandler says good boy pounds in the mouth, how cute. Video says good boy pounds what? And I need a fuck indeed, Chandler, and I need a fuck. And Sky says, tão giro ouvir você na sua língua. Same to you guys, when you guys speak your delicious, heavily accented European Portuguese, it's so goddamn nice. I mean, it is nice when I can understand what the hell you're talking. I have tried in the past and I have failed countlessly trying to understand what the hell is going on. But anyway, because it's the same thing with like English speakers when they are exposed to like British English, but like not just any international quote-unquote British English, but like some really cockney British English. Those British English that you're like, what in the world are you even saying? It's the same thing, more or less. Because most Portuguese, most European Portuguese is like European Portuguese is in Brazilian Portuguese. It's very, or South American Portuguese, whichever. It's very far apart because after the whole separation, independence thing that went on, the Portuguese and the Brazilians had very little reason to keep hanging out with one another. So the languages still feel like widely different, whereas some English feels very clear to both American and British speakers, and some British English also still feels very, aside from some slangs and some accents, it still feels like very understandable. It's weird as shit. Let's increase this size of this hand and move it up a little bit because I feel like it's too small. And Oni says, may I have a raise in your allowance, Dad Doug? No, you may not, Oni. And Zach says your second language is Filipino. You doubt you can understand any of the words. I cannot. I have met a few Filipino furries in the past, and they have tried introducing me to the wonders and magic of the... What is it? What's their language called again? Tagalog? Tagalog? I'm not entirely sure. It's one or the other. I feel like it's... if it's not that, it's something around there. Tagalog or Tagilog. I feel like it's something like that. The Filipino word for the Filipino language, I guess. I would not know. But anyway, I have had several friends, I mean not several, but a few furry acquaintances in the past telling me about the magic and the wonders of the Tagalog language. But Zach, wouldn't that be your first language rather? Wouldn't English be your second language, since you're from the Philippines? Anyway, Chandler, you say feel a pinecone. What? SK Shappy says that Rosetta Stone and other things like that teach Brazilian Portuguese rather than the Portugal Portuguese. And I wonder why. It's not like Brazil is like the #1 place to go to. I mean, it's a tropical country and that's fun, but other than that, logistically it's a nightmare. So I feel like Duolingo probably also teaches Brazilian Portuguese. I wonder why. Maybe because, fortunately or unfortunately, now we have a much larger population number than you guys over there in Portugal. And when teaching languages, they probably think, wow, which language has the broadest number of speakers? I mean, which version of the language has the broadest amount of speakers? Or which one is the more quote-unquote international? I don't know. I would not know. Anyway. So I'm not feeling these short sleeve, well, mid-sleeved shirt. I feel like it has to go and it gives space for something else. And Chandler says probably because Brazil is thick. Zach can say Tagalog, another term used to name Filipino language. In fact, Philippines is the only country that celebrates the origin of their language. It was strange to be an English speaker since your early schooling days or in private school with a strict speak English only rule. Oh really? That sucks balls. In a way. I mean, it's good, but also bad. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be raising you in Finland, but you're not allowed to speak Finnish. You're gonna speak English because why not? So while that's okay, in a way, it's like interesting that you're learning an international language, it's also so kinda to live in a country where you speak a language but you're not learning the language the country speaks widely. But anyway. Leo says, speak sexy to me, all you foreign boys. We could speak. I mean, we could go on and on about are foreign languages, but you would not understand a single thing. And then you would be lost. And I don't think that's a good idea. My intention is not to purposely bamboozle all of you with languages. And only do not commit self-mudon. I forbid you to do that.
A Renner queria que baixasse o custo para eles pegarem. Só que aí a loja devolveu a proposta para eles dizendo: a gente baixa o custo desde que você se comprometa.
Okay, so how am I gonna change the gloves? One thing I'm seeing here is the Tactics Ogre. They have this more grounded approach where they have really long sleeved clothing that covers the glove, something like this. However, the Final Fantasy approach is like, why don't we have gloves that go all the way up to the elbow? So the Japanese do not know how to chew. They're like, well, either you go big or you go home, so might as well go big. Look at the size of these gloves, gauntlet shenanigans they have going on, which is like good in a way. But I feel like something else now. I just had an idea. Have you ever seen Renaissance Italy? Or rather, Renaissance era Europe?
Então, aí o fluxo todo de RNA do e-commerce novo nunca foi testado. Não, aí agora estão terminando de testar. Só que aí a guria a Jéssica lá, tá viajando na maionese muito loucamente. Ela tá insistindo que...
Or they have like this puffy wrist parts-ish thing, and then they have this, what's it called? Cuffs? Shirt cuffs? But the shirt cuffs is like out of control. Look at this. It's kind of like pirate fashion, but slightly more grounded. But anyway. Leo, you said you just love to hear them, honestly. And Zach says those schools expect the students to be successful overseas. And Chandler says, goodbye everyone, gotta go read something. Okay, Chandler, have fun with your reading. Thank you so very much for joining us today here in our, what's it called, our delicious art stream today, and I hope you have fun doing your reading. I'll be seeing you later. Thanks so very much for joining us, and stay awesome. And Zach, you said, what did you say? Here's your take on fashion design. Well, one of them, and I like that. It actually looks very good. Dog damn, it does looks good. It looks very good. Dog damn, you know how to do it. And Leo say, why need a shield with gloves like those? Exactly. Exactly. Oh no, what song is this? I don't know what song is this, but I already like it. And here is another, you say, Zach. This one I'm not feeling it so much. The second one, I'm like, kinda a little bit on the too much side.
só, acabou aí. Todo esse outro fluxo externo, não é assim que você pode ocupar.
Anyway, puffy sleeves, puff sleeved Renaissance era-ish clothing design. Because it doesn't look particularly good, but it looks grounded. Sometimes it's more or less what you want. Like, it doesn't look too fantastical. And this hand in itself is really crazy already. I don't think it looks good, at the least. And I think on top of it all, this character could use a nice coat. So might as well throw one in here.
Esse daí também, até comentei isso nesse áudio. Em teoria, é o problema mais impactante que a gente tem hoje na fila. Só que o workaround está funcionando. Então a gente não tá assim, nem nós, nem a
Actually, let's go to another layer to make this coat.
Parece ser um clipe, só que parece um clipe no meu.
Like this high-collared coats that are, instead of made of fabric, they're made of cardboard. Because dog damn, these things are hard, and they can't stay up no matter what. Make it rain, make it sun, they do stay up. Those collars. Maybe we can make two coats going on in here. Look at a double coat situation.
Qualquer outra pessoa aceitaria, né?
We have this smaller coat underneath, and then we have a big coat going on above it. Let's go with that. And these kind of the same fashion as they have going on in, what's it called, Bloodborne. Some sort of fashion sense that I really can't get behind it.
Tem no vídeo a gente não usa, é que quando cai um adapter pro Poison ele manda um e-mail, né? Só que o e-mail que tá configurado lá não existe.
One thing I keep thinking though is that those coats here, they're incredibly dense and big, and it's impossible to go around and do anything with them the way they are. So you need to have something holding them down. Lest they go out of control. That's it. Arctic Gorilla 47 says, "Oh my, that's what you sound like." I guess. Hello there. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Sorry to disappoint. Zach, you said you need to go now. Getting late here. Sure thing, Zach. Take care and stay awesome, and I'll be seeing you later. And thank you so very much for joining us today. It was lovely having you here. Hope you enjoyed our little art stream shenanigan. And Leo said, did any see your door shield? I haven't. And also Oni, you stop it, your Mudon Hamaon who run a shenanigan talk. You do stop it, Oni. And SK Shap, you say you need to run also. Sure thing, SK. Well, you too, thank you so very much for joining us and joining the stream, the chat, the conversation, the whole thing. Welcome, thank you so very much. And I hope you have a lovely day. I'll be seeing you later. I don't know when, I don't know how. We will get to meet each other again. Well, we shall. I promise you that we will see each other again. And then, until then, stay awesome and have a lovely weekend. Bye bye.
Não vai dar tempo de eu chegar no escritório.
SK, you say it was nice and relaxing. Take care and hope you have a good day. You too, buddy. You too. And I'm glad you liked it here today. You're welcome to come back anytime. And Arctic Gorilla 47 says, well, you haven't heard your voice before, so it sounds nice. Really? Why, thank you. I don't think my voice sounds nice, but if you do think it does, I am super duper glad you think you feel that way. And also, thank you so very much for that fabulous follow. So as you can see, I'm going all over the place with this character here. Initially this character was just like kind of a woodlands fencer. Now he's sporting several layers of coats. And I mean, it's crazy, it's out of control, but I like it. I feel like it has character going on. But anyway, Leo says it was posted into the artist page on Discord. What? What was? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, your door shield. I did see that. By the way, what's the story behind that? Because I was looking at that and I could not make sense of what was going on. Like, did you have some sort of what's it called? Live action RPG, roleplay rather, thing going on, and that's where you found an application for your shoe door, or was it some crazy sort of was it some crazy sort of you know, you just had a door laying around and you decided to go and show it to your friends and run around with it as people try to bash you with brooms or whatever. I don't remember what was going on in the photo, but I feel I was kind of close there. Nonetheless, I'm curious, what's the story behind that one? Because I did see that and I got really confused and I kind of want to know what was up with it. So feel free to explain it whenever. And this code, I feel like I should simply trail down doesn't have a lot of dynamic going into it enough to make it flip up like it was doing. And other than that, Oni says, then what's Ludo and Hammer Dog if you know so much? It's using insta-kill magic in Shin Megami Tensei, and I didn't need to explain myself to you, Oni. I said, don't do it. Because it is disturbing me. So please, if you could, be so kind as to stop with that sort of talk. I would very much appreciate it. And Article Gorilla said, with that many codes, I'm pretty sure he'd be sweating bullets. Possibly. And you gotta invest in the Wacom Cintiq you use because it looks so convenient. I wouldn't say it's convenient. Exactly. I mean, it's good, extremely good, to be able to draw in the same screen you are seeing the drawing come to life. It's amazing. However, it doesn't make things easier or better in any way, it just makes things faster. So if you're an artist, like a hobbyist artist, or you don't have a whole lot of money to spend, or if you have anything else going on, but you don't want to make art your primary thing, then I don't feel like the Cintiq is a good expense to have. It's extremely expensive for the little amount of benefits it provides, because it does make the draw faster, but like I said, if drawing isn't your main thing, it doesn't really matter how much faster you draw, as opposed to something like if you were a professional illustrator, then you need to be fast with what you're drawing and how much of it you are drawing. Then definitely a Cintiq helps. Especially because if you're gonna be an artist, the more I mean, not necessarily an artist, but if you're gonna work with any sort of creative work on a computer, it helps if you can have more than one monitor. If you're gonna edit videos, if you're gonna do whatever, it helps to have more than one monitor going on in your life. But that's about it. But of course, if you can afford it, because those are extremely expensive, if price is not a problem, then sure, go for it. But if price is the defining factor into buying it or not, then like I said, it depends on how serious you are into doing art. If you're not super serious, then maybe not. But if hell yeah, you are 100% sure that doing digital art is gonna be your life for many years to come, then hell yeah, invest in a tablet. A Cintiq Wacom tablet, a Wacom Cintiq rather, or any other graphic tablets that have a monitor gimmick going on with them as well. And this is the thing I was just realizing here about this character illustration here. That is, I spent a lot of time drawing his underclothes, the thing he's wearing underneath all these coats, because I was trying to avoid the coat look. But that's the thing, the coat looks adds so much. But with the coats, everything that is underneath the coats is pretty much vanishes. You can't see any of it anymore. All those details, all those things, it's simply, it might as well not even be there anymore. But that's the thing, coats are fun, but they hide so much of all the other work you previously put into the character. So going with coats is it's a big decision to make. Like, is it worth it covering up all the previous work with a gigantic coat that is gonna cover everything up? Or would I rather have the little nuances of not having a coat, but rather a much more a much more expressive visual? Because despite everything, codes are very concise and they make sense. Whereas not codes, they can go super crazy. And other than that, a lot of other people have been joining in on the party here. What sort of people do we have? We have one such who has joined? David says, "Morning doggos, couldn't go back to sleep so you joined the stream." Well, I'm sorry that you could not go back to sleep, but nonetheless, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And how has your week been so far? And Donald Duck, you're back. Welcome back, Donald. And Leo, you had a door to take to the dump and had to try and carry like a shield just to see what it would be to physically like to carry it. Yeah, it doesn't seem very useful. Rather, it doesn't seem easy. Only says correct and half wrong. Hamamudo were never insta-kill. The old Smiths made it damage only, then Nocturne up to Persona 5 made it insta-kill, but the X2 made that damage only. And their intentions were never insta. Back then, the mighty skills were the insta-kills. And David says, "I swear on you, you thought you were talking about JoJo there." An Arctic Gorilla says there is such a major difference between drawing on an intros and Synthic, so you're gonna have to get one in the near future. Well then. And like I said, if money is an issue, then maybe not. But if it isn't, then hell yeah, go for it. And Oni says your arts are worth 1 cent. They are not. Don't tell that to yourself. And Leo says, what about a hip mantle, Doug? What is a hip mantle? I don't know what that is. And Tyvid says it has been a pretty chill week. I'm glad it has. Lovely. What sort of hip things have you been doing? I mean, what sort of chill things have you been doing in your chill week thus far? Okay, so like I said, there's a lot going on here. Let's hide some layers and study it little by little. So there's a coat, several coats rather, for this character here. So the bottom layer here, let me go through it. The bottom layer is your classical suit coat. It's like any formal wear. It's just that. And then the upper layer is a sort of like a parrot coat, like this guy here on the side is wearing. It's gigantic and all very over the top, but I like it. Then we have the lower layer, which is like underclothes, which consists of the boots, this nice pants, some belts to carry this knife, and these two belts through. Because my initial idea was that this guy was sort of a spear master, so he had other shorter spears hanging out of his back. But I couldn't make this visual too interesting, so I went for the coat, but the coat's kinda ruined the whole aesthetic. And then we have the character himself. So let's mix these two up. Let's create a copy of these two layers here. So we can hide. By hide I mean erase everything that is beneath the coat. Oh, damn it. Just so you guys can see how it looks in its various versions. This is not gonna be final, by the way. This is just a little experiment. And as you can see, my problem here is with this coat that it feels very bland in the way it falls down here. I feel like it should open a little bit more. But coats do not work like this. They don't simply go down, get to the waist part, and they simply whoosh, they open up. The only reason that could cause them to act like that is if we had a belt here alongside the waist area, and the belt put on some pressure on the upper body, and here on the lower body the thing simply expanded. That was the only actual reason for that. But anyway, this is the character with the clothing and the coat, and this is the character. So let's make a copy of this as well. Let's throw in some more opacity into him and erase pretty much everything but the head. Oh, damn it. So this would be the character with this clothing we designed for him. I don't know how you guys, what do you guys think of this look? I kinda dig it. But like I said, I feel like there was a lot of potential that we could not use because it got hit. It was hidden underneath all these many layers of clothing. Anyway, Donald Duck says, Arctic Gorilla, yeah, you've got an Intrus Medium Art 2015 model. It is certainly better than the small version and such, but the newest one for a medium is very expensive, but I gotta say it's good in some ways. Leo says, short cape worn on over the hip. Maybe we'll go with that. The Wolf Smile says, só queria agradecer pelo seu trabalho, mesmo me motivou muito, já que finalmente acabei com o desenho. que uma vez comentei com você pelo Discord. Muito obrigado pelo seu trabalho. Well, you're welcome, first of all. And you're welcome, and I'm glad that my work motivates you in some way. And well, I don't know if you're in the Discord, but if you are, feel free to post your drawings over there in the art channel so we can take a look at it. Arctic Gorilla says, you bought this Intros PT Medium on the Apple Store a few years ago. I love it for what it is, but you've been meaning to upgrade to a Cintiq for quite some time now. Then go to it. I've been saving money. I've been saving money for like a year or something before I had enough to buy a Cintiq. Those are expensive and it does take a serious work to save up enough money to be able to buy one, but you get there eventually. And also, David, thank you so very much for those bits, for cheering up here this stream. Thank you so very much. Madonna says, well, put some funds aside for a walk on Cintiq or check out their competitors and see what fits your taste if you're impatient. Oh yeah, there are some Chinese knockoff brands. Some I hear that are very good. I don't recall what they're called, but if you look around the internet, there are people who have been trying. I think it's a Huayon or something, Huayon, something like that. But there are other graphic tablets that are a monitor and a pen and everything else. But because they're not a Wacom, they're like 1/3 of the price. I don't know if they're not incredibly expensive for what it is, and they're pretty good, so maybe take a look at those. And also, Erico Senpai says, this is looking cool. Why, thank you, and welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? How's your week been so far, by the way? Hopefully it has been nice. Nice and good. And Tyvid says, I like. I'm glad you do. And Neki says, someone put Game Bloom. Oni, I love you. Well then, there you go, Oni. People do like you, as you can see. So I don't know how spears work. I mean, as in how they are built. Up to the Google. Google, tell me how does a spear is built, or a halberd, or whatever. Just tell me. Halberd. Because why not? There we go. Many halberds in here. Because from what I've seen, a lot of them seems to be built like entirely of metal. They're not like, let's make just the tip metal and the whole body, let's make it wooden. A lot of people seem to be like, well, you know what, why don't we make the whole thing metal? It's gonna be heavier, but it's gonna be incredibly strong. Super strong. And apparently they have gone with it. If the internet is to be believed, that is. And Leo says layers are fun, like wrapping a present. Indeed, that they are. And Oni says never buy tablet from Apple Store, they're selling it on their price beef. Buy from Fry's Electronic or Best Buy. And there's that too. If you can find it cheaper on the internet, do look it up for prices. Look up on Amazon, eBay, some sort of price searching site application you guys may have. But I don't know if you're from where you are from, Arctic Gorilla. If you're from, if you are from one of the, if you're from North America or Western Europe, then probably finding those things are gonna be easier. If you're elsewhere, like I am, it's probably gonna be harder. Hard to find it, especially at a good price. So searching it is worthwhile. And also, I'm not super into the idea of buying used products, but depending on how good is the price difference, maybe it could be worth looking into an used tablet. Because there's a chance you can get the same product for much less. Of course, you're exchanging some other things, like you don't get a full warranty, you don't get some other things, but other than that, you're getting pretty much the same item for much less. And it might even be who knows, maybe the person who previously owned it was like took really good care of it, so it's still working in almost perfect conditions. Like the most it might have is a little scratch on the screen, or a little nicked paint here or there, but other than that it might be working in perfect conditions. And because the person knows, I use it a lot and there's some nicked paint here on the corners, so they maybe they might even go and add some other bonuses to try and get to sell the thing. Like they might sell it not only for a discounted price, but they might add in some other stuff they might have had, such as accessories and stuff. So maybe it is worth looking at. Okay, anyway, here we go. We have a character. I feel like he's kind of tilted to one side. Because if we look at this, it looks like he's kind of not balanced, but if we now he feels a little bit more balanced. Doesn't feel like he's gonna fall over. So let's stay with this version here. I like this guy. But also let's explore the coatless version. Let's iterate a little bit further on this. Leo, you had suggested the waist mantle, I guess. I forgot what it was called. But I like this random piece of cloth that it's kind of just laying there. I like having those in the character design. Makes it feel a little bit more dynamic. Like there is something going on for this character. Of course, most of the time you might not even feel like sometimes it might not feel like a pretty useful piece of art, clothing article. Like you might get tangled on things, or might look weird or bad or whatever. But I like it. Also, it does seem like in the 14 or 1500s, people were really into the one-sided cape. Like they had a cape that draped from the shoulders, but only covered like one side of the body. I wonder why is that, but it looks super dope. And David says you loved Lightning's butt cloak from Final Fantasy 13. I don't remember how it looks, but now I'm too far into the whole thing to go look for references. So I'm gonna stick with this. So let's tilt this guy a little bit, so it looks more balanced. There we go. So one thing I really have been feeling like throwing into this character here. It's kind of like a gigantic holster in the back. Where they can carry extra throwing weaponry. So instead of having these 1.5 person tall little spears they can throw around and play with, they have shorter spears that they can throw around and play with. But they have a lot of those. Sort of hangs there from their waists. So fun though. It's super quiet. I can hear the scribbling of the stylus on the screen. Makes a nice scratching noise. So nice noise. I like it. So there we have it. This I don't know. I don't even know what this guy is, but anyway, he is having spears, and he still doesn't have the shoulder thing. I feel like he's lacking a shoulder thing. Problem with adding more stuff when you don't need is that you can make your design way too busy and will look bad. But I do feel like it does miss something. Maybe just a little shoulder pad, why not? It doesn't have to be anything ridiculously big. Just a few layers shoulder pad should do the trick. And then to make it even more inconspicuous, let's make it a fur shoulder pad. So it's leather and fur, because why not? And what else have you guys been saying? Arctic Gorilla, top 10 darkest move theories. And David says, I think this one's about to explode. Only does that, don't worry. Arctic Gorilla said, one of the theories in the list is how the kid from Home Alone, Kevin McAllister, grew up to become Jigsaw because he was good at making traps. Oh. Makes sense. Although you do say that makes no sense, honestly. Yeah, it doesn't, but still. It's like, if the movie was from the same director, writers, and whatnot, you could even think, oh, there is a connection, but not really. Anyway, David says causation versus collateration on that one. That's kind of why I stopped watching Game Theory. What do you mean? Explain further. And Erica Senpai says, hehe, ASMR. I don't ever remember what that acronym stands for, but might be it. And David asks, why not watching Game Theory or Home Alone? Hashtag shoulder team. Leo says protector, even Doug. Shoulder protector, EA half armor. I don't know names, Leo. Those things are complicated to keep in mind. Arctic Gorilla says was watching a What Mojo video, not a Game Theory video. And you watch Game Theory for entertainment, not for their theories. Yeah, I stopped watching Game Theory. Because I mean, despite some theories being like okay and well they make sense. I don't like their presentation. It's like, alright, let's talk. I think the biggest problem is with MatPat's way of presenting the thing, because it's like, oh, and let's talk about this. There's this incredible theory that will make your hairs fall out of your head, and will make you fear the very basis of living in a house. We are gonna talk about why Super Mario is actually the villain of this world, of the Mushroom Kingdom. Strap on, this is gonna be a very long video. And he goes on and on and on and on, talking about how the thing is gonna make you shit bricks. And he talks and talks and talks, and every single fact he says, like, okay, so Mario kills Goombas, they are smashed graphically and virtually, but hold on, and then he goes and keeps doing more of this, but you're not ever gonna see this thing ever the same way ever again, because what I'm gonna present you is gonna really make you think twice about stepping on those little poor Goombas, because I have found irrefutable proof that will make you think Nintendo really does not sees themselves as a childish company anymore. And he goes and goes and goes before actually presenting proof of evidence. If you cut down all the time he spends going on and on about how you're gonna be surprised by his theories, you can cut the video in like 60-70% of the time. So yeah, sure, MatPat, you had good theories, but dog damn, get on with it. We don't have all day. We have shit to do. And that's mostly why I stopped watching game theory. It's fun though. That also makes me think a whole lot more about video editing, because, like it or not, back in the day people were like, okay, let's watch a video, and people would not feel bad at all with strapping on for a 30-minute long video of this. I mean, nobody was ever okay with watching a 30-minute long video. But back in the day, I feel like people were more lenient to stand for that kind of stuff. Like, okay, I'm not into the mood to watch a 30-minute video, but it is a 30-minute video, so what can I do? But nowadays people have options, so if you make a 30-minute long video and people are like, no, I don't want to watch 30 minutes of video explaining why Super Mario is actually the villain of the Mushroom Kingdom, then you can always go and watch someone else who made a much shorter video explaining the same points and details. So nowadays it's about being able to show as much information in as little time as possible. So cutting down time, unless of course the downtime is a necessary part of your explanation of your video. So unless it's absolutely necessary for you to have the downtime for whatever sort of reason, and then it comes into storytelling. Unless it's entirely necessary for you to have that downtime, it's best that you cut it off. If it does not help you in any way, it's probably gonna be a deterrent for people from watching your content. So they're gonna be like, well then, I feel like I wasted one entire minute not seeing or learning anything new, so might as well go and do something else with my life. Even if the big boom that would hook them into the entirety of your content and life was just a couple seconds away, because you killed several minutes trying to get people hooked on your stuff. you lost a potential viewer. So this whole thing of pacing is incredibly important, mostly for stories, which is a thing I learned making the Golden Week, but it also applies in a lot of other things like movies and YouTube videos and whatever. It's crazy. But anyway, that's nor here nor there. The point is, I finished up making this mental cape thing shenanigan with this guy, and I guess we're more or less ready. Should go ahead and finish up this delicious javelin thrower guy. Javelin lobber, rather. That probably has a name already. Javeliner. I don't know. Someone has probably come up with a name for that, and I don't know what is the name of that, so fuck it. Okay, so there we go. We have a character now. It's a Javelineer, Javelin lobber. I don't know. It's this guy. It's done. But Leo, you said Matt Pat. Broken heart. I only say Matt Pat's editor. Well, let's say something bad happened. Another Gorilla says, yeah, I saw that video. Oni says, which killed and slowed down the series a bit. And Tyvid says, that's how I feel about game theory too, Doug. And Arctic Gorilla says, there is actually a game manual for Super Mario Bros. Where it says Bowser turned toads into blocks, so basically Mario killing all the toads that became blocks. Oh shit. And Tyvid says, you're not 100% sure, but you think that was English only. You could be super wrong though. Oni says you linked Theodore, by the way. Oh, thank you. And Arctic Gorilla says, or a mistranslated manual. It's one or the two. David says, yeah, that's what you're thinking, but it's like one of those facts so far back in your brain that you're like, maybe it's right. And the name of the Javelineer is probably on Fire Emblem. Maybe, who knows. And Leo says, Javelin, 1d6, piercing 2 pounds, throw range 330 out of 120. Spear, better. 1 GP, 1d6, piercing 3 pounds, throw range 20 to 60, versatile 1d8. What even, Leo? You know I don't know these things. And Erica Senpai says, yeah, those Mad Pat Game Theories vids are too long because they're trying to get ad money. Really? Well, I don't doubt it. I mean, I can't see that happening, so maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Poor Mad Pat is struggling for that dough that he needs to make. He needs to make content that will hook up the young boys and girls out there. I feel like the last video on the last 2 game theories I watched was one that was about the dancer of the Boreal Valley and how her offbeat music and patterns gets everybody confused as shit. And that was a very interesting video, but it was not presented by Matt Pat. I was like, who in the world is this guy? But it was very well edited and put together and was really concise and pretty good. However, the only other video I watched was like, the truth about Doki Doki Literature Club, why Monica is not the real villain. The real villain is Yuki, I guess? don't remember her name. Anyway, she is a real villain, haha, this is why. But no, he didn't start explaining, he was like on a gigantic monologue of, you're gonna fear the very computer you're sitting on, you're never gonna trust it again. Yada yada yada. And he made several promises of, you're gonna shit in your pants, you're gonna fear the internet, you're never gonna look at artificial intelligence the same way again because of this video theory. And by the end of the video I'm like, okay, all of those things you said was gonna happen, none of them happened. I still trust my computer, I don't fear artificial intelligence just because of your video. For other reasons maybe, but not because of your video, it was not eye-opening in any way. It's like, okay MatPat, you just pointed reasons for why this guy Dan Salvato is actually a good writer, but not why computers are evil or whatever. And anyway, what do I know about game theories? I'm just a dog. Okay, so now I have true characters, true versions of this character. We have the... Oh. Forgot to fix this thing back here. Okay, we have the spear wielder with a coat, and the javelin thrower without the coat, rather with smaller with lighter clothing articles going on for him, who may or may not be cooler. I don't know. You guys decide who is the coolest one, the guy on the left or the guy on the right. Although I keep flipping the canvas, so it might change at any moment who is who. Anyway, Tyvid says, Leo with the D&D stats. And Erica says, well, the longer your vids, the more ads you get. Oh, true that. Oni says, by the way, how does the GBP deduction work, Doug? I have control of your GBP, so I can change it at will. So, leave that to me. But anyway, Arctic Gorilla says they're YouTubers, they need the money to survive, especially more so now that YouTube has been like, well, maybe we should demonetize and award less money per video. Because from what I have seen, YouTube algorithms are making it harder and harder and harder for people to earn money through YouTubing. Dog knows why. But people are going crazy bananas about it. From what I have seen, at least. It's not like a master YouTuber knower of YouTube things. So let's try and colorize this guy on the left first, using that Marcos Mateo Master reference. So this is what I want. I want to use shades of gray. So let's change the paper color to a light gray. Maybe even a darker gray. Why not? It makes it much easier on the eyes. That's for sure. Pro tip, by the way, if you wanna work with illustrations, maybe use darker canvases, so your eyes don't suffer if you're gonna be staring at this screen for way too long. Let's also throw in a white layer just because. So let's go. We are gonna be using just a few colors. Let's see how many this guy uses here. There's 1, 2, 3, I guess. 3? Yeah, 3. Wait. 3. I think 3, only 3 shades of gray. So he uses this shade for the coat, this shade for the undercoat, then there's true black. There's this shade here for the skin, it's more or less the same shade as that one. And this shade for the color, for the darker part of the skin. This is the beard, I feel like it's the same as this one. Yeah, more or less the same. And this shade for the hat, which is a mix between those two. But there's several shades going on here, as you can see. Organize them by brightness, as you can see. Very concise. So, let's start with black, I guess. Also, of course, we need the white for highlights. Let's try and keep it to those colors only. Let's try using as few colors as possible. Oh, would you look at that? This is not black. This is supposed to be black, but I guess because of the scan quality, it doesn't show us black. But it is supposed to be black. Which is true, this is a scan of a magazine. Of the book, rather. I do have the book. But I'm not gonna go take photos of it. And then go through the hassle of importing it and whatnot. Instead, I got a book online. So what I feel is most important here is first of all blocking the super dark areas, the areas that will not have color at all. So most of his cape is gonna be black, colorless black. And then as time goes on, I might even go back and add some during the white highlighting to it. Also, this whole areas between several areas, I'm also gonna throw pure black at them. Yep, not that. Not there. And Tyvit says there was a video you watched. You think Ted Ed who talked about why computers will never take control. Oh really? Ooh. That sounds interesting. What? Do you remember anything about the video? And also you said that they look great. Why, thank you. I'm glad you think so. first I'm gonna do this whole color shenanigan with the clothes. Then I'm gonna go up to the head and the muzzle. Decide how that goes. By the way, today I was kind of planning to do this just as a sort of a warm-up sketch before we started working to the comic book pages, but as it happens we didn't get to do that at all. Hope you guys don't mind that we didn't get any work done on the comic. But instead we've been exploring character design. Not sure how you guys feel about character design as a thing. I hope you guys have enjoyed this so far nonetheless. And David says, I think most of the video was basically like we would never be stupid enough to give them full control like that. That makes sense. Or at least people would always throw in so many fail safes in it that you can never truly go like, okay, they not only have full control but they are completely unstoppable. You probably will have some sort of fail safe, and if none of those work, you simply say, well, fuck it, let's make subaquatic cities. There's no effing way they're gonna be able to go down underwater. Who knows?
It's now or it's never, and I've got to make my decision. This time it could be my moment. Is this a mirage or just to fulfill my mission?
This is a very tough moment of blocking out these darker areas and characters. Because for the largest part is like, you want to block off only areas that are shaded by default. But a lot of times you also have to block out areas that do not help with the composition. There's some... by which I mean you are trying to give balance to this character, both left and right wise. So if the color values feels too heavier to one side, you probably want to throw blacks into another side to balance it. And then to make the volumes, the surfaces appear more well defined. I'm not gonna pay too much attention to the legs and feet. And Oni says, Doug, I think you need to make a channel on Discord called GBP Transactions to keep track of what was traded for GBP. I don't think so, really. I mean, so far nothing has been traded. And David says, or like we aren't going to make AI that can become smarter than us, or something like that. Yeah, I don't find that likely. The most we can do is like those self-learning AIs. It's still kind of a far away distance from us to be able to make those sort of AIs, and even when they do, I feel like we're gonna need very potent computers, because theoretically the more the AI learns, the more processing power it'll need, and eventually it's gonna reach a limit where it's like, okay, I'm running out of power to process all of this. It's gonna shut down. It'll be like, well, can't handle this much thought. And then either the AI is gonna have a mental shutdown and be like, well, shutting down, or they're gonna get ailments like anxiety, depression, or whatever, and they start having to shut down functions because they don't have processing power enough to keep everything turned on. I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about. But yeah, if you feel like you don't have enough things to watch for entertainment in any sort of way, then like instead of going and watching watchmojo.com videos or MatPat Games Theories or whatever, do go and check out TED Talks. There's several hundred TED Talks about all sorts of subjects. They're pretty useful into giving you new perspectives into the world, and generally being very good at motivating you into doing new things, or good things, or better things, or improving yourself. Or if not, at least on entertaining you. Not gonna promise that one specific TED Talk is gonna have the secret to life, happiness, and all that, but if all that fails, then they're at least funny most of the time, and entertaining. And Neku says, news, Monster Hunter is still fucked up with the internet. Oh man. And cute Doggo. Neku say today is World Lion Day. Give your personal lion some love. And Tiger says, good point. What do you mean, Tiger? What is a good point? This here? I mean, this one here, because I don't know, it doesn't feel pointy enough. It could be pointier. Now it's a good point. Much sharper point. Let's hide that one real quick. And that ought to do it for now. I feel like we have blocked out enough places with full dark color. But god damn it, Neko. I was really wishing I could play some Monster Hunter today. By the way, how far into it have you gotten? I can't help but think about all the people who were like, oh no, Monster Hunter just released on the PlayStation, on the Xboxes, and I wanna play, but I don't wanna buy it on those feuty consoles because eventually it's gonna release for the PCs, and I'm gonna get it on the PC and get the definitive experience, and then finally it's here on PC and people are like, shit, I can't play. Nonetheless, though, it is interesting. Okay, so now that we filled everything with black, let's take another layer, because I want to keep this color separated by layers, and throw some... Okay, so now we can go whatever with what color I choose to color these other things. All that matters is that I try and keep materials the same color, more or less. So like the boots, the entirety of the boots have to be the same color. For the character, the entirety of the character has to be the same color. For the pants, same thing. So we have a good differentiation of color between the character and the black and the background and whatnot. And Oni, you said you love big men seen looking dead. And Tyvit says food, coffee, art, good mornings are made of those. I wouldn't like necessarily include the coffee in the this is a prerequisite for, you know, having a good morning. But yeah, have a point there. But nonetheless, I'm glad you guys have had a good morning so far. Oh yeah, that is a glove. Leather glove. That should be that colored. Let's take out this black layer on top of it all. Go super overboard with our fuel bucket. And color everything. But anyway, not only you, Tyvit, but I hope that everybody else has also enjoyed a lovely morning, if it is morning for you guys, that you have enjoyed a lovely morning here with me, doing some well, not comic book art, but well, in a way I do wanna use everything that I learned from this. Wait, what? I wanna use everything that I have learned from this here to make some comic book art in the future, because eventually I wanna start a new comic book series, and I wanted to have more or less of a different art style, kind of like what I did with the Golden Week when it transitioned from the Golden Week to the Call Me Daddy series. I changed my art style a little bit, and ever since then it has been kind of devolving it into its own thing. But I feel like, graphically speaking, the Golden Week and the Call Me Daddy series have some big differences between one and the other, and I feel like those differences are good and should be celebrated. And same thing here, I wanna study new styles for this new comic series. And so when we finally get to it, I can start illustrating it in a more interesting way than what I have been doing so far with my current comics. Don't know if you guys agree or disagree, or what do you guys think about it, but that's how I feel. Now that we're done here with this, throwing the color here on the feet. Oh no, don't leak colors, don't leak. Oh god, they leaked. And now we can go and throw back in the black layer. It throws in some nice shading, and then we can start reapplying some of these colors into the black layer. So they are going more or less of a so we have some interesting color dynamics going on here with the way the colors stop being like just black and there's a little bit of highlights, but instead of using pure white to do the highlights, we use the color that the thing was originally. And we reserve the white for highlights only on the things that like really would benefit from being white, highlight wise. Of course, this doesn't look good at all, so never mind that. Never mind that at all. God damn it. But anyway, I feel like this is a interesting rendition of this character. Of course, I just learned that I am shit in doing this grayscale sort of coloring, but I like the way this turned out in the end. Might not be the most wow looking thing ever, but it has character, and in the end, that's all that matters, isn't it? Actually, no, never mind. Anyway, what do you guys have been saying? Super Sonic says, "Hoy, hello there, Super Sonic. Welcome to the end of the stream." Oni says, "Big offer, Doug." Super Sonic says, "This isn't really a bad thing, but your art style is really different than most, which is honestly something that you feel would draw more people in. You also really like my style." Oh, thank you so very much. But I do feel like is room for improvement and change, and I like that. The idea that I can improve and do better, cooler things. Only you will sacrifice all your 901 GBP for Theodore showing off his chat to you and be a good boy. A flat color. Oh, Oni. Supersonic says Persona. Yes, it does seem like we are back into the Persona land. I don't know why, but we are. David says, "I think Oni is being a loud boy." But of course. And you also said that no, they are good daddy doggos. Oh, thank you, David. The Supersonic says, "What? No, that looks super good." Well, thank you so very much. I'll be posting this on the Discord later today, and also on Twitter and what is that other place I use for posting shit? Tumblr. I'll be posting it later today on Tumblr, Twitter, and on the Discord channel. That's so you guys can go and check it out if you feel inclined to do so. Because I don't know why you would, but if you do feel like doing that, you can go to those places I just mentioned. Check it out and up into your hearts, fuel up yourselves, up to your heart's desires with some of my art. I don't think like I'll be using this for anything in the future, like this is not gonna be a part of project or anything. So this is just a drawing I made for fun. Hope you guys enjoy this. And also, Marcus, you're back from napping. Oops. Well, welcome back to the end of the stream, because it's time for us to say goodbye. So this is the character I have drawn. I don't know who this character is. Like I said, I talked through my process, so you have a little understanding of what was going on. But this is a character that is using, well, in the left he's using small javelins or whatever, throwing spears, I guess. But on the right, he's wielding those spears, longer versions of those spears, and I went for the underclothing are pretty much the same, but the overclothing I decided to go with a coat. And because of the coat, a lot of the dynamics of how the character works and what he uses and what he doesn't changed. So there's that. But anyway, like I said, I'll be posting this later today on the Discord, so you guys can go over there and check it out. But other than that, thank you guys so very much for joining the stream. It was lovely having you guys here, talking and hanging out with me and enjoying some art and some talk about, you know, all sorts of things we have discussed and talked about today. I'll be seeing you guys next week when we will be back. I don't know what for or what with, but we will be back next week nonetheless. Other than that, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend, do great, amazing things with your lives, and feel free to share. If you end up having some sort of adventures or cool stories you end up having this weekend, do show up next week and come share your stories. I'd be super duper interested in hearing them. But other than that, like I said, it's time to say goodbye. But before we truly actually say goodbye, I would like to direct you guys to some lovely fun people who are doing other sorts of fun little things. One such is Safio, who is playing Monster Hunter World, like is everybody else, because this game just released and everybody's going crazy about it. So do go there, check them out, tell them that Doug sent you and said hello, and enjoy it. And have a lovely day. I'll be seeing you guys next time. This is Douglas, signing off, and going to have a lovely weekend full of nice canine things. Bye bye.